Hey, Gray.
Guys, hey!
Oh,
I'm
hey.
terrible at technology, so I'm hoping this is going to work out.
That's okay. I don't think I was just asking everyone how to do an Instagram story, and I'm a millennial, so I have no excuse. How did you get into voice acting?
Oh my goodness, I wanted to be a stand-up comic since I was a little girl, and I was doing stand-up, but I didn't have any funny jokes. I just did impressions. So Mitzi Shore at the Comedy Store said, "Hey, you should do voiceovers while you're writing some jokes." So I did that for like 20 years, and now
Oh
I'm just
my
getting back
gosh.
to comedy.
So it was Pauly Shore's mom, who's the iconic or was the iconic owner of the Comedy Store in LA, that gave you your first break in so many ways.
Well, kind of. I mean, she gave me some great advice. She said, "Honey, you got to write some jokes. You can't just do impressions." And I was like, "Oh, okay." She said, "So while you're writing jokes, you should go do cartoons. You're good at the voices." So
Now,
it was a
did you
good
always have
call.
a natural ear where you were able to hear someone's voice and then mimic them, or was it something you had to work on?
Oh, I from the time I was really little, I used to get in trouble for making. I wasn't making fun of people, but if I heard a weird laugh, I remember a lady at a restaurant had this really interesting laugh, and I was like 8 or whatever, and I just went right after she laughed, and my grandma was like, "You can't do that."
That's awesome. What advice would you give young people trying to get into voice acting?
Well, theater is a great place to start because theater, in voice acting, you don't just play, I don't just play my age and just like, a mom or
Hmm.
whatever. I play a little boy and an old lady and a tree and a dragon. I mean, theater is the only other place I can think of where you
Hmm.
stretch your mind that much and can play so many different things. Also, start doing a YouTube channel because those influencers are cleaning up in the cartoon world.
Really? Really? Do you ever feel like they have it a lot easier than you had it because you had to kind of pave the path in it and more of like the pounding the pavement way rather than turning on the computer way?
Absolutely. I remember just like if I saw a camera when I was little, like, if a news story was happening or something, and I was like be dragging my grandma over there, like, we gotta, I gotta get interviewed for this news story, or I just have to be in front of a camera so people can find me. I need to get discovered.
Oh, that's so
We
cute.
did Family Feud when I was little, and I did my impressions on Family Feud. It's on YouTube if you look it up.
Oh my gosh.
But I thought, oh, well, this is going to be it. All the producers are going to be dying to have me do their cartoons, but it took another 10 years.
You were an overnight success.
Yeah.
um, who are
20-year overnight success.
who are some of your favorite characters to voice?
Oh, well, Jeepers, I love doing Daphne. I've been doing that for like 20 years. And then Vicky the babysitter's fun because all the millennials are like, oh my gosh, you're my childhood. And Azula from Avatar is very evil, and I like doing her a lot.
Ooh.
And now I do a show called The Loud House, and I get to actually work with my 11-year-old son. He plays my big brother. I play Lola on The Loud House, and I play Lana, and I play the baby.
And I play Scoots, a little old lady, too. She rides right on a scooter.
It's amazing to see you transform and transition into different characters. When you're home and you get a script, for instance, like when you got Daphne from Scooby-Doo, did you have to think about, okay, how does she sound to me? Because she's been a well-known character for so long. How did you make her your own? Or did you try to mimic something?
Well, it was really intense because my really dear, dear friend, who was my mentor and teacher, she was Daphne and she passed away. And they
Oh,
gave me this tape and said, can you try to match it? And I was grieving. And I said, I can't listen to it because it's just too painful to listen to her. I don't even want to audition for it. But her husband was like, you were her student. She loved you. She would want you to do this. And so I said, I'll go to the audition, but I cannot listen to her tape. So I just did what I felt, sort of my take on it. And the engineer and the director said, oh my God, we got goosebumps. You sounded so much like her. Mary Kay Bergman. She was incredible.
oh.
Wonderful.
What would your 10-year-old self say if you went back and told her that she'd be the voice of iconic characters like Daphne?
It's amazing. I can't even believe it. I used to come home from school and put, my robe on and get ice cream and watch, Scooby-Doo and the Jetsons and, Flintstones. And now I'm playing, Betty Rubble and Jane Jetson and Daphne. I just would
It's
have never,
amazing.
it's just crazy. And then I'd watch Kung Fu after that. That was fun too.
Is there
But it's just, sometimes I still pinch myself and think like, I can't believe I'm getting paid for this. It's amazing.
is there any character that you want to voice that you haven't had the opportunity to yet?
Well, Snow White was my all-time favorite when I was little.
Do her
And
voice, do
it's
it.
my favorite Disney movie of all time. And I feel like I've got the look down.
Yeah, you do. You
I
do.
used to play Snow White at kids' parties in college, and I really love Snow White. But I got very close on the voice match, but didn't make it.
Can you do the voice of Snow
But I
White?
can't sing like Snow White.
Can you do her voice though? Because I'm very intrigued by this.
Oh yes.
Oh, look at these little men. Oh, let me see your hands. You must wash your hands. I'm wishing for the one I love to find me.
Oh my gosh. That just took me back. They took me back for sure. You also were in the Transformers movie.
Yes.
Are you excited to watch the new Transformer movie, Bumblebee?
Oh, I am. I can't wait. And I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old and an 11-year-old, and
Oh
they
my
all
gosh.
love Transformers. Nobody more than the 4-year-old. He's really into it. I can't even figure out how to put those darn things together. Usually we open it into what it's gonna not be, and I'm like, oh, I can't ever get it back to what it's supposed to be or the other thing. Anyway, but it's gonna be very exciting. I can't wait to take them.
Another thing that's very exciting is you have a new comedy special out, and like you said, it was your dream to do this. It's your first one. Can you tell us about that?
I can't believe how many people are watching it. I get to see the numbers. It's got like 45,000 streams or something in a week, which I didn't know if anyone would watch it besides my family. And it's got 5 stars reviews, and I don't know about half the people. I know half the people, but the other half, I have no idea. So
What was the
I'm
transition?
very excited. It's gotten more. It's way bigger than I ever could have dreamed.
So now that it's had success, what was the transition like from voiceover work to stand up?
Oh my goodness. Well, I had gotten kind of cozy in my voiceover stuff. I show up, everybody knows me, and they know that I'm going to be okay. And stand up, it's like I'm having to win over the room again, and it's kind of exciting because I go in and people are like, all right, let's see if this girl's funny. It's kind of fun to make people laugh, and they're surprised because a lot of guys are very sexist, and they're like, oh, it's a woman, she's not going to be funny. I was on a bill the other day, and since my name is kind of an asexual name, they thought that I was a guy. So they were like, oh, there's no women on this bill. So it'll probably be a funny show. And I was like, oh, I was very.
Do you think that it's changing in comedy where women are starting to kind of change the ratio where it's getting equalized, or there's still a way to go?
I think there's a little ways to go still, but it is getting better. I come from a world where I'm usually the only woman in the room anyway. Voiceover wise, they usually hire one woman to do the kids and the old ladies and and the girl, the female parts. So I'm usually the only woman in the booth anyway. So I'm kind of used to that boys club thing. But comedy, it was a little even tougher. So there's a lot of people who I think they're kind of angry because women are there's a lot more women in the game now, so it's exciting. But
No, I think we need more women's voices for sure, including women who can do tons of voices like you.
I try.
Well, congrats on the comedy special, and thanks for sharing your talents with us.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
Bye.